Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is our final session. Thanks so much for your patience as well. I know we're a little bit late. I think someone's computer thought it was 5:30 and they didn't fancy it. But me and Bethany are here, so we're all good. Just wanted to kind of end today with one of our headline partners, PwC, and essentially just give you a bit more insight into somebody that's actually gone through the experience and decided to work in financial services and how that's all been for them. Really want this to be an open conversation. We've only got about 10 or 15 minutes, so do feel free to ask any questions you've got that I can direct to Bethany, and then we'll just round off the day nicely. I think it's been awesome so far with all the presentations that we've been watching, so I hope you've all had a great day and got loads out of it. Bethany, are you all right to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Beth. So I work for PwC as a management consultant. So I joined PwC on their school and college leaver programme. So that's basically in consulting, we do a 2-year apprenticeship. They do have apprenticeships in audit and tax as well. I think they might be a bit longer. But yeah, in consulting, it's 2 years. So I joined last September. So literally been here a year and a week. Came straight from college. So kind of finished college in March. Didn't do my A-levels, but if I was going to, I was going to do business, French and RS. So like a really mixed bag. Nothing really to do with consulting. But that is the same for like a lot of the programs, even the graduate program. Got friends who did like a history degree and like things like that aren't accounting. Basically, I just want everyone to know you don't have to be from like a massive financial service background at all. So joined literally a year ago. Most of it has been virtual, but I have actually really enjoyed that. I really liked that kind of didn't have to spend like an hour commuting every day. I had like breaks at home and my lunch with like my mum. Like didn't have to kind of sit by myself or anything.
Oh, great.
Been really good. But yeah, so that's me.
Oh, awesome. Oh, hi to Tom. I can see you've joined us. I know we had a couple of technical issues there, but so great that you can join us. I think you're on mute at the moment, but Bethany's just introduced herself. And whenever you're ready, we'd love to hear from you as well. You're just on mute, but if you can unmute yourself, then we can have a little intro. It's not quite there yet. I'll let you get the oh, we've lost her again. We had her for a minute. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point that you raise around, consultancy. You don't have to necessarily come from like certain backgrounds or have to like do certain subjects. I mean, how did you actually even find out about financial services as a career option? Like, when did you first think that this is something that I might want to go into? Like, what inspired you?
Yeah, so where I live, there's like quite a big like company called BAE.
Oh
they
yeah.
have like offices all over, but it's quite local. So that in like my city is like kind of the thing everyone tries to do. So I had like my heart set, like I was going to apply for apprenticeship there in business. So my business teacher actually said, "Oh, there's some work experience. It might help with your application." Turns out it was at PwC.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I did 5 days. I didn't know anything about it. Like I'd never heard of the Big Four or anything.
Yeah.
So we did a day in tax, a day in audit, and a day in consulting. And that was really good. You really got a broad range of financial services. Because obviously in consulting, it's a lot about people. Whereas like audit is a lot kind of more focused on the money kind of side. So it really showed me that there was like a massive broad range. Like, and because I wasn't very good at maths, so I thought, oh, I'm going to be rubbish. Like, I can't go into financial services. But consulting really showed me that you can like have like the conversations with people. Like we did lots of work with banks and things like that. And it's more about like how they run their business from like a management perspective rather than how they make money specifically.
Yeah, no, I think that's so interesting, isn't it? Because whenever I used to think of banking, I'd always think of investment banking, and I was similar to you. I'm not particularly good at maths, but you learn and you grow in your role. But actually, there's so many different parts of financial services. And I know that, consulting is one of them, investment banking is one of them, audit's one of them. There's also management consulting, isn't there, specifically within consulting?
Yeah.
Could you give us like a bit of an overview of like what management consulting is, for example, like just really basic example of what that actually means?
Yeah, so a lot of so I'm in my friend group, like I'm the only person with like an apprenticeship. All my friends go to uni and like don't understand what PwC is. And I kind of say to them, like in management consulting, it's a bit like project management. So like we get like a company who comes to us and they're struggling with like certain projects or like how to get their business up and running. And we kind of look at them from like a higher up perspective and look at how they're managing like their people and like even just like how they organize things like that. But I think looking at it as like project management is quite an easy way to understand it, because we even did like project management at schools. Like you don't realize you're doing it, but when you're working in teams, like you are, and you're like the team leader, you are the project manager. So it's quite a good way to look at it like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've noticed a few things that come up today. Is like, how is my subject that I'm studying relevant to this? Or, a few of the questions were, oh, I'm studying humanities. Am I not going to, because I haven't done economics or finance, will I then be able to go into financial services? And I think you raise a really good point there around you probably have experience in the job that you're applying for. You just don't really necessarily know it because there's different terminology and different things are called. So yeah, that you raise a really interesting point there. And obviously there's a question that's come through actually about, I think that we're talking, the reason why we're doing this event is because females are underrepresented in financial services. So from your experiences, have you found that it really does feel like a male dominated environment, or is it more like you can tell that there's not as many females necessarily in certain areas, but actually you can see those improvements being made?
Yeah, I think rather than like it being women who I didn't see in position, it was more like the younger people.
Okay.
And like when I first joined, I thought like, oh, I'm gonna be the youngest one here, but it's really not. Like PwC is quite a young brand anyway.
Yeah.
And it was, so I'm based in Manchester, and obviously that's quite a small office compared to like we have 2 in London. And in consulting, there's only like 2 women partners in Manchester compared to like I think there's about 5 males. So you can see it, but the women partners are younger. So you can see how they've probably come in and give all these fresh ideas quite recently because of they wanted to see changes. But in terms of kind of like my day-to-day teams and like even just like my intake and the new joiners, I think there's a really even split. Like I wouldn't say, oh, I've got more male friends or I've got more female friends, or even like so I've had like 2 projects over the last year. 2 of my managers have been women and only 1 has been male. So
amazing.
Yeah, so you can see it a little bit, but you can definitely tell it's getting better, even in things like we're now recruiting kind of even spreads. I know that probably if I joined 10 years ago, I might have been like one or 2 of the women, but it's definitely not very, like, you can tell it's changing.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And I feel like the reason why events like this even exist is because everyone's trying to kind of change that narrative and it improved on it. So it's good to hear firsthand from someone that's experienced that and can see that progress is being made. And I love that your managers are being secretly love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I guess, like, from your perspective, was there like something, like any advice that you were given that made you think, yeah, I definitely can do this, or gave you the confidence to just go for it? And like, do you remember what that advice was, or was it mainly just that experience that you got?
Yeah, so like a huge part was the experience I had. Like it kind of made me realize like my parents didn't go to university, like they're not from like massive financial backgrounds or anything like that. Like they still don't really understand what PwC is. But when I went and did my work experience, there were so many people who said the same as me. And I thought, oh wow, like this like company's actually hiring people from like social mobility backgrounds, things like that. And then when I actually joined and I thought, oh no, what have I got myself into? Like a lot of people said to me, like, just don't say no. If someone says, oh, do you want to get involved? They just said, just say yeah. Which actually really helped because we have like kind of 3 main clusters. And I thought, oh, I would really like to go into like the health industry. So I signed up for like a workshop for a whole day, thought this is going to be amazing. And I really hated it. So
Oh,
even though it wasn't great, it was really good experience, because
yeah,
now going forward, I kind of just put all those emails like in like a little folder and think, I don't really want to do that. But I focus now on the things that I know I definitely do want to do. So
yeah.
I think just like failure is a success in its own way.
Mm,
Like just having feedback from like even like your managers or your friends saying, "Oh, you didn't do that very well," it means you're not going to do it badly again.
mm.
So it's really good.
I love that. Failure is success in its own way. It's so true.
Yeah,
It's only through like saying yes to things and trying things out that you figure out, why, what do I like, what don't I like, what am I good at, what do I need to work on. So that's really, really good advice.
yeah.
And I guess like for you, what's been like your favorite bit so far? Like of all the things that all the things you've experienced, or all the different projects you've been part of, like could you give us like a real example of the best bit so far?
Yeah, for me, like not even really part of like my day-to-day job, but like one of my favorite things has been talking to students who are from like a similar background or like from the regional offices. So we have like a virtual park, which is it's just basically a careers fair, but during COVID, obviously we couldn't run them face to face. So it's just like you log on and chat to students. And they've been so insightful, because there's just been so many students who've said, like, I've no idea what I want to do.
Yeah.
And like I've helped inspire them. Like that's been a really like big turning point, because I'm kind of sat at home, all my friends are off at uni. They're like telling me all these like great things they've been like going to, all these events. I've been a bit like, oh no, like, have I made the wrong decision? But like those kind of events and like things like this have really made me think, no, I made the right decision.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. I think that yeah, inspiring other people is always a real good value add. And I think that'd be something really nice for us to kind of wrap up on. There we go, got my words there in the end. Today would be just to say, you know, if there are some people that are watching this or that are just still joining us today and they're thinking, I'm still not sure that it's right for me, would I be good enough at it? Have I got the confidence to actually apply myself? What would you say to them? Like, what would you say to as someone that's still kind of not sure that they're definitely going to be right for it, or they're definitely going to go for it?
I just say like the worst that can happen is you don't succeed and then you go on to the next thing. Like
Yeah.
honestly, when I was in year 11, I applied to BAE and didn't get in. And like the day I didn't get in, I was like heartbroken. But like if I'd done that, I would be in such a different place.
Yeah.
So it worked out a lot for the best. And I'll just say like, don't listen to what other people say. If you're really keen on like going straight into work or doing placement years at uni, and all your friends are like, oh, you're going to do a placement year, you're going to be boring, like, just don't listen to them. Just go for what you think's right. If it turns out you don't really enjoy it, you can literally leave. Like it's not the end of the world. We had someone who did a year with us, and then decided, I'm going to go to uni. That was completely fine. He's had
Yeah.
the year experience, and now he's going to try something else. So everyone has different paths. You can't do exactly what your friends want to do just because they're your friends.
I love that. Yes, it's kind of like just follow your gut, but also keep trying. Don't be resilient. You know that
Yeah,
you'll get on a path that you're meant to get on in the end. And yeah, I
yeah.
love that. Don't just listen to what everyone else is doing, because we're all kind of on our own little journeys, aren't we? Bethany, it's been so nice talking with you. I know you were really active in the employer booths earlier, so thank you so much for everything that you've contributed today.
That's okay.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I think to everyone else, as we do kind of wrap up, I just want to say, like, I hope you got loads out of today. It's been such an enjoyable experience. And as we said right at the start, it's our first event focusing specifically on women. And I feel inspired after it. So I hope you all feel inspired with your next stages in your careers. As a bit of a reminder, every employer that has been here today, if there's any questions that you haven't been able to have answered, or anything really specific about recruitment process or eligibility, in the employer booths you can see access to all of their careers websites. We're also going to be sending follow-ups with links to presentations and links to everything that you need. So the event's one thing, but there's going to be follow-ups, and do go on and apply, be confident, put yourselves out there, and just thanks again so much. Thanks, Bethany. We'll wrap up there and we'll leave you all to it. But have a wonderful evening, everyone, and speak to you all soon.
Thanks. Bye.